Right, so the next race we're going to look at on the card is, for many people's race, the second feature race of the day, the RyanAir Chase, obviously named after Michael O'Leary. So that's nice, isn't it? It's good to see that the owners get their reward, really. They do put a lot into racing. This race, to me, though, I've never liked it because it's the sort of race, to me, that's with poor horses in, Steve. What do you think? The reason I say that is because they can't stay for the Gold Cup and they're too slow for the Champion Chase.
Yeah, you're quite right there, what you say. It's obviously in between both distances, which you just mentioned. So it's for those horses that don't get the trip, obviously, in the Gold Cup, but probably haven't quite got the pace.
I think, really,
the top two milers, yeah.
I think, really, that we are lucky. The division is lucky that it has, at the minute, a genuine superstar in it to keep it going, really, because I think if it wasn't for Undersco in that division, I can't see how there'd be any interest in it whatsoever, to be honest. That's just my honest opinion of that division. It'd just be old horses that aren't good enough to win in the Gold Cup anymore. I just can't see how horses in that race, it's a disappointing race for me. I've never got the vibe or the thinking behind the race. I just haven't got it. Never have it. Never have had it in the race. Because it's a relatively new race, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. And in regards to like this year's renewal, it is a disappointing renewal. Obviously, Undersco's head and shoulders above the opposition on ratings and current form. I think he's won about 20 from 26 starts.
Yeah, that's the thing with Undersco. You used to be able to say he'll either win or he'll fall. But these days, he doesn't even seem to fall. He is a genuine, solid proposition, I think, tomorrow, whatever price he is. And I'm sorry, I don't mean everyone to just run out and go and bet the horse, but I can't see how he can lose, to be honest. What do you think, really, honestly?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Like, obviously, first of all, the ground's going to be in his favour. I think it's the first time in 4 trips it'll be to the festival where he'll actually get the ground that he prefers. He's obviously got good course form. He's won at the track twice. He's been placed at the track once. So we know he's got good course form. His current form is really good too. He's been campaigned over 2 miles, and obviously they're going to step him back up here to 2.5. That probably is in regards to his stamina. However,
he's won the race before, hasn't he?
He did win last year's chase. Obviously, if you watched the race back, he was his stamina was just coming to the end, probably within the last couple of 100 yards. But the race was obviously a done deal at that. However, I think with the softer ground, it'll have a lot of horses will be in trouble, probably swinging in really. So I think he is a solid favourite.
Are you worried about the change of jockey for him? Are you worried a bit about the change of jockey for him? I think Ruby gets on quite well with Undersco. He could be a bit free, can't he?
Obviously, certainly early.
Worried about that at all? Who's riding him? Do you know?
Paul Townend's on board. As you say, in the past he's been pretty much a tricky ride, but I'd say within the last 12 to 18 months, he has tended to learn to settle a little bit better. And he's not quite as difficult as he once was.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he was certainly. If you look at his races early on in his career, he was a bit of a force.
Hit and miss, weren't he? Fall or win.
He was very
headstrong,
and he took quite a lot of managing. But and obviously Ruby got on well with him. But at this present time, I think he's learnt to settle a lot better. And I don't think he'll give Paul Townend too much problems. Obviously, he's going to run on the front end of the race. Probably Q Card's probably the other horse that will dictate the pace with him. So obviously they don't want to go herring off.
It's Paddy Brennan back on Q Card as well, isn't it? It's Paddy Brennan back on Q Card, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, Paddy Brennan's back on Q Card. Obviously, they put him back on
Good
last.
To see. I mean, Paddy Brennan to me is a superb jockey. I've always said it. I know I'm biased because he's won me. He's rode some great rides for Howard Johnson horses I've backed in the past. But I cannot see why anyone would want to jock that man off any horse. He's a superb jockey.
Yeah, rightly so as well, because obviously he's never done anything wrong. Certainly not on Q Card, but unfortunately...
Anywhere he's been, Tom George had him for a few years. He won loads there, didn't he? Then Howard Johnson had him. Never let Howard Johnson down once, I'd say, in all them races. I've watched a few, as you know, and I can honestly not think, sat here now, thinking of one what he'd give a bad ride to, off the top of my head in a big race. Absolutely rock solid jockey, I think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I certainly wouldn't any of Q-Card defeats down to Paddy's fault. I think he was unfortunately jocked off, obviously, previously,
Absolutely.
which I thought was a bit harsh myself, because I don't think he's ever done anything wrong on the horse, but he was put back onto it last time, and a tremendous race. Obviously now he's in his veteran years now, and it's going to be difficult to see him win a race. But he could be given a good ride.
Unfortunately, I think they'll give an enterprising ride, like you say. Sir.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think they'll be hanging about with him.
Yeah, no.
I definitely do not think they will be hanging about with him.
No, I agree with you. I think he'll.
So we both kind of agree. We both kind of agree then, really. Undersco, really, it will be a massive upset if Undersco doesn't win. Have you got any other opinions on the race? Is there any others in there that you think could take advantage of any mistakes that Undersco makes, or even maybe improve and give Undersco a race?
It's difficult. It's difficult to say, really. On all known form, the other horse is obviously not quite at that level. Sub Lieutenant was the one that ran Undersco down late last year. However,
RyanAir's horse, isn't it?
That's correct. That's the Chickenstown horse. He ran Undersco closest last year, but he's not quite been in the same form this year, and it's difficult to see. So you say that
Undersco would hold that one?
Yeah.
What about any of the others? Do you think, if you were saying, maybe I'm looking for an each way thing in that race, or would you really not want to put anybody off Undersco?
No, I wouldn't want to put anybody off Undersco. He's certainly the one I'd be advising people to get on side with. There's a few horses, all the horses there have got each way claims, but I wouldn't like to pick one over the other, really. I'd probably advise definitely to stick with Undersco in this one.
Well, there you go. I don't like to tell people what to do. I like to tell people to judge for themselves. You've heard Steve speak about Belvedere, you've heard Steve speak about Sam Crow, and you've heard Steve speak about Undersco. It's just a matter of drawing your own conclusions, really, isn't it? On that, got anything else to add on the race?
No, definitely not. It's all there for everybody to see. Undersco, he's the best horse in the race on current form. He's got good course form, and I couldn't really put anybody off backing him. I'm pretty sure the race will be full of excitement. That's for sure.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Make of that what you will.